What's going on, everybody? It's me, Tony Nico. Welcome back to another video. How's everybody's day going? And I'm here today bringing you another dosage of the deranged side of Twitter. Now, today we're going to be taking a look at some more aunties on Twitter complaining about lolly show content and just anime-related stuff in general, and checking out some of the deranged tweets that they make. And I'm going to be covering more content like this in the future, not just with aunties, though, of course, but just with the ridiculous things that happen on and off Twitter, articles and news pieces and stuff like that, complaining about anime related stuff in general as a sort of, content shift now. But today we're going to be taking a look at some aunties and the crazy things that they have said recently. One of them even compares lollies to real children and say that you should go seek them out in schools to some lolicons. Yes, it is that crazy. But anyway, let's get right into what's going on. So here is an auntie right here, which was over here defending the movie Cuties while at the same time complaining about lolly show content and saying that it's CP and stuff. And when called out for it, they started saying that Cuties rules and everything. Now, I'm pretty sure a lot, if not maybe even all of you already know what Cuties is. It's a movie that is basically just borderline CSEM material. And it's made by a French director and was published by Netflix. And it's a movie where basically just actual real kids was basically just exploited in it sexually and stuff, and just dancing and twerking for adults and all that type of crazy nonsense. And the critics rated it highly, but of course the audiences, they didn't rate it so highly, obviously, because it's basically just CSEM material. And this person is over here on their sneako moment without the cucking part, and just defending Cuties while complaining about lolly related material. I don't need to tell you how that's a big ass red flag, but comparing to the amount of aunties that already get exposed for being the real criminals, yeah, it's not looking so good for this person. And they're basically doubling down on this whole thing as well, as you can see from these tweets right here. And they even tell one of the lolicons to you can read the tweet for yourself. I'm not gonna say it. And yeah, it's just that wild. And of course, they go with, why would I change my mind? Because all of you keep whining about it. I mean, you're complaining about lolly content while defending a movie that actually exploited children, because there's no kids involved with lolly stuff, okay? It's literally just fake animated, and you're over here trying to defend a movie where an actual person was exploiting children sexually, like borderline CSEM in a movie, basically. That's not a good look for you at all. Not a good look for you, man. Yeah. Let's move on. We're going to be taking a look at some more aunties, because one of them even tells a CSEM survivor who is a lolly show that they need to grow up and that they're not a victim anymore. So this account right here named Lord Bandit is a CSA survivor and was called a pedo over lolly show content by aunties, like the usual things aunties do. And he started telling the aunties his story, and they started questioning the validity of his statements, as you can see from these tweets right here that I'm going to read out loud. So am I correct? Over a decade. But why does that matter? Why does that change anything? Like 8 or 9 years. Last time I saw proof was 4 years ago when my groomer tried to get back into contact with me. 8 or 9 years at least. I was in contact for 3 years. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out here too, why does that even matter, and why the aunties are even questioning him about something like this. Now, this person right here does actually seek therapy and everything, and even takes medication to deal with the fact that they were a CSA survivor and the trauma and everything that goes through with that. I was 10 in 6th grade. How old are you now? Doesn't matter. He has exploitation material of him when he was a child still floating around somewhere. I'm willing to bet over 10 plus years. Now, what if he said he was 19? I don't know if he is, just an example. Does that make your sympathy for him reduced because he, is fascinated by many little cartoon objects? So even in that example, they have had nearly a decade to get help and therapy to deal with it in healthier ways other than, yeah, I, that's not even what the Lolly Show content is, but yeah, because we are talking about uh, Lolicon here. I've been through several therapists and dealing with my CSA and CSCM trauma is extremely difficult. For the longest time, I wasn't able to say the words. I only started to bring it up not even a year ago. I found safe for work lollies helped me feel better. So yeah, just another case of aunties coming at someone and harassing someone and invalidating their trauma and everything that they've been through. Someone even responded to this person with, "You have turned yourself into a victim. Grow some courage and free yourself. You're not a victim anymore, for fuck's sake." Yikes. So yeah, basically just another case of aunties invalidating someone's trauma and coming at them over lolly show content, the icky drawings and everything. Oh my god, I can't stand it. And just basically ignoring all the stuff that they've been through because I don't know, I guess they want to morally grandstand or feel better about themselves, gain some internet brownie points, or either because, the icky drawings bother them so much that this is just how they act towards people. It's disgusting. But anyway, let's move on. We're going to be covering a few more tweets. So this is someone making a tweet addressed towards Pikami, fantasizing about doing some decrepit things to her. Yeah, it's pretty wild. Me in Pikami house activating her webcam and feeling myself while her avatar just smiles because it doesn't detect anything and the chat is in emote mode. I honestly don't know what has to go through your fucking head in order for you to just tweet something like this out, or even just imagine a scenario in your brain where you just murder someone in cold blood. I don't know, maybe because you hate her or something. It's honestly just wild to me. Then there's this right here replying to a VTuber by the name of Rune Bunara, who was calling out a minor, I guess, coming into the Lolly Show space once again instead of staying away from 18 plus in adult spaces. You need to be smashed over the head with the golf club 40 times. Yeah, I mean, just another deranged anti behavior. Then here's an auntie over here saying that anything under 5'7" is basically just a red flag and is minor coded. They're talking about like drawings, like anime characters and stuff like that, or OCs. Minor coded or not, their height. Any girl under 5'7" is basically a red flag for being minor coded since that's around the common height for children. This applies to canon characters and OCs. I, do I even need to tell you how fucking stupid this is for you to say that anybody under 5'7" is minor coded? Okay, basically, if you're not a hulking behemoth of a person, I guess maybe if you're not even Shaq tall, then you're basically just a child now. I mean, I mean, I'm not 6 feet. I'm about like 5'4", so I guess this is so damn stupid. Okay, I don't need to tell you how stupid it is for you to sit here and determine by somebody's height that they're still a minor, okay? That's really, really dumb. If that's the case, probably 78% of the world is still a fucking child, okay? Come on now. Let's move on. Here's someone saying, society, if we people who watch anime. Yeah. It's just another deranged tweet by somebody, who has a hatred towards anime related content, I guess. It's crazy. Uh, let's move on. Here's another one who is saying that anime is basically just, grooming. Anime is a constant thread. Been talking about this for several years. Anime is grooming that is subtle yet highly effective. I don't know what to say, man. The mental gymnastics for you to sit here and claim that anime is basically grooming. How the fuck, I, dude? Anime is grooming is not a term that I ever thought I would have to see in 2023 or at all in my lifetime for somebody to sit here and claim that anime is basically grooming, but it's subtle. It, what about movies? What about video games? What about music? What about books? This is none of those things. Do none of those things have grooming elements in them? Nope, only anime. Okay, anime's evil, satanic. It's whatever. Okay, anime is just it's bad. Okay? If you consume it, something must be wrong with you, apparently. This sounds like boomer talk, but let's move on. She's not real, bro. You're a sick anime, pedo, porn addicted individual, too blinded to see how fucking gross you are. Wrong hill to die on, perv. How the F is a cartoon character going to consent? My brother in Christ, those are pixels on a screen, not a person. If you want to draw a not safe for work of tales or underage characters, just make them adult versions at least. Solved. Now, this right here is a response to an artist, a furry artist on Twitter, who was getting harassed over the fact that they drew not safe for work art of the character Tails from Sonic. And a bunch of aunties were pointing out that the fact that Tails is a child and is basically just 8 years old. But let's just ignore the fact, that Tails is basically just a fucking drawing and is not a real person, and is also a anthropomorphic yellow-tailed fox that can fly, okay? But yeah. It's honestly crazy to me, the lengths that a lot of aunties will go to and the crazy things that they'll say. Yeah, I saw the art, and honestly, there's nothing real weird on it since it's an adult Tails art. But the point is that you said you like 8 years as child Tails ones, at least as I saw in the conversation. I don't like Tails. I'm not a furry. I said the age of consent does not apply to something that cannot consent. The age of the does not matter because you cannot a tree. It does not. It's a sentient being in the way art animal is. I look. I had difficulty reading that because there was misspells and typos, so I apologize. But basically, yeah, the age of consent does not apply to something that cannot consent, which is just drawings, okay? You cannot consent to a darn drawing. We should not be bringing the age of consent argument into a fucking anime drawing or some furry art because that's honestly stupid. But aunties will use that term a lot. They'll be like, the age of consent is 18, not realizing that a drawing doesn't have an actual age. And if you want to get technical, okay, let's just put it like this. A drawing is the same age as it was as when the artist drew it. How about that? If you really, really want to bring some real life situations or whatever, I don't know. I don't know what the hell I'm trying to say. Okay, look, the aunties are over here making me dumb. Okay, reading a lot of the stuff that they say. But for you to try and bring the age of consent argument into a fucking drawing about Tails is stupid. Point blank, period, okay? But let's move on. But it is quite literally a child, no matter if it's aged up or not, the source material still leads to a child character. So basically, even if you age up a drawing, it's still a child somehow. You can say that it's 21, you could age it up to make it look adult-like or whatever the heck you want to say, and it's still like 8 or so years old. Same thing happened with Anya and a bunch of other creators when artists would age them up, and then a bunch of people would still come out and say, well, it's still a child character, so it's still wrong. Either way you go, you can't win in this type of scenario. It's like a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. So you might as well just say fuck it all and just do whatever you want. Yes, it does. Try imagine if they existed in real life, not a real scenario. Just imagine. Would you fat for them even if they were real? If the response is no, then yes, age of consent matters. And also, if you feel attracted by children like body characters, you're probably a pedo. So, basically now they're trying to come up with a imaginary scenario in order to reinforce their argument that there's something wrong with you making or looting drawings like this. It's honestly just nonsense to me because it's a fucking drawing, okay? There's never going to be a scenario where they become real, and even if they somehow in some blood moon chance do become real, our laws, worlds, and physics will not apply to an anime drawing at all, okay? Like, imagine if someone like Aizen or freaking Dio or Homer Akemi became real. Do you actually think they're going to be able to abide by our laws and our morals? Hell no. But even then, that's not a scenario you'll ever really have to imagine, okay? Try imagine if they exist in real life. They don't. Stop freaking out for impossible scenarios. You just ignore the fact I know it's an impossible scenario and you're trying to running away from the question, proving you're just a lolicon pervert who would in fact, with that poor child, if they existed, weirdo. No, because it's an imaginary scenario that you're creating up in your head, okay? Like, what is this? What are you trying to do? A straw man right now? If lollies existed, they wouldn't be human. They would. What the heck are you saying? And then this person posts an image, then they go human and say that this is as close as you'll get to saying that lollies are real. And then of course in typical anti-fashion they say, nope, it's not. Go to a damn school, there's a lot of lollies. Basically telling a lolicon to go to a school and seek out kids. Let's look, okay, that's already wild enough, but the fact of the matter is that they also called kids lollies, like they called real kids lollies. Okay, lollies don't exist. That's a huge ass red flag for you to say that a kid is a lolly, okay? And then to tell someone to go seek them out in schools, okay? That's absolutely fucking wild. And of course, they were appropriately called out for it. Damn, bro, that sounds like something a pedophile would say. Did you just call real children lollies and are telling people you believe to be pedophiles to go to a school? You're telling someone you think is a pedo to go to school. Are you sure you're not the problem? You quote the word like it means something else just for you. Not sure why you are calling real people lollies. That's rather disgusting and against the definition and how the word is used anywhere. You are using actual pedo rhetoric. Yeah, reality is not fiction. Yeah, just basically bunch of people coming out and calling out this stupid ass auntie for saying something like this. But let's move on. Now here's someone saying, too bad you're a tranny, I'd rather be a pedophile than a tranny. And 244 quote tweets and only 12 likes by a bunch of, I don't know, maybe a bunch of freaks just like this person for tweeting this out. Lotions are pedos, you can't change facts. Yeah, the typo is very strong on this one. They were trying to say that lolicons are pedos, but instead they wound up saying lotions and got clowned on for it under the 8 quote tweets. It was very funny. I would ask you if you're slow, but the answer is quite obvious right now because you can't differentiate irony just like how connoisseurs can't differentiate fiction when they see children holler. If you look at a child and think lolly, then you're the problem, not me. I know what a fucking cartoon character is. I jack off to them every day. You said I couldn't tell the difference between a cartoon and a child, so obviously there's my credentials on why I can, besides the fact that I'm no longer a 5-year-old. You're no longer a 5-year-old because you want to... Oh, Jesus Lord. Twitter, man. Twitter and these aunties. Jesus Lord. Like I said before, you can't differentiate a joke between differentiating children indulgent in children IRL far long enough before you sent a shitty anime reaction pic. Guys, it was a joke, I swear. I definitely didn't fail history. And then this person responds to them with a image of a white adult male on a bed with a white little girl. And yeah, I'm not gonna show the image, obviously. It's a little cropped, but you can see the person's head. And there's a white little girl on the bed with them, and he's staring at her. And yeah, it's no, it's just bad. Of course, they got called out appropriately for this, and even had the tweet reported. It's always you people that end up posting pics of actual kids, and it's always people like you that get exposed to be a predator as well. It's literally a coin flip if you're on the list already or not. And then just a bunch of other tweets and everything calling out this person for sending a pic of a real child. Not only that, but a child on a bed with a grown adult looking at them in wrong ways. Yeah, by replying with a picture of a child to people you believe to be nonsense, you have lost both the moral high ground and the argument. Yeah, I don't get this at all, man. Aunties will literally do this every chance that they get, okay? They will literally sit here and have images of real children on their phone and then post it to people that they think are pedos and then try to take the moral high ground over them and be like, haha, ooh, I got you and everything, funny gotcha moment. I bet you're looking at this and feeling some type of way, huh? It's literally disgusting ass fucking behavior, and I honestly don't know what goes through their mind. Well, honestly, there's really nothing going through an auntie's mind to begin with. Like, they're just all around deranged. But I think that's gonna be it. I think we're done looking at these tweets for today of aunties saying some wild stuff and doing some wild stuff on Twitter. I'm going to be covering more content like this going forward and a few other anime related things. But anyway, with that being said, this is me, Mitsune Nico. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. All of you guys and gals. Okay. You have a blessed day, and I'm out. Okay, I'm done. I'm out.